Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International with me, Keith Johnston. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held a telephone call with the head of the Bahrain Hajj mission, Sheikh Adnan bin Abdullah Al Qattan, following the kingdom's success in winning the award for the best office for pilgrims affairs among 3 countries that received the highest satisfaction rate from their pilgrims for the Hajj season 1444, as part of the Bulletin award granted by the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. His Majesty expressed thanks to Sheikh Adnan Al Qattan for the landmark achievement that recognises the fruitful and successful efforts exerted by the Bahrain Hajj mission and its subcommittees to serve Bahraini pilgrims by providing them with the necessary facilities to ensure they perform the Hajj ritual safely and comfortably. His Majesty the King paid tribute to the Supreme Committee for Hajj and Umrah Affairs, led by the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf, Nawaf bin Mohammed Al Mawada, for his keenness to provide all services and facilities for Bahraini pilgrims, including citizens and residents, to enable them to perform the pilgrimage rituals easily and comfortably. For his part, the head of the Bahrain Hajj mission extended profound thanks and appreciation and gratitude to His Majesty the King for his directives, keenness and pilgrims' comfort and follow-up on the facilities provided to them. He commended His Majesty's unwavering support for the Bahrain Hajj mission to carry out its role in serving Bahraini pilgrims to the fullest. The Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly Cabinet meeting at Gudaibiya Palace. The Cabinet congratulated the pilgrims from Bahrain on the safe return from the Hajj pilgrimage. The Cabinet expressed thanks and appreciation to Saudi Arabia for providing the utmost comfort and care to all pilgrims, including Bahrain's pilgrims, and congratulated Saudi Arabia's leadership, government and people on the successful organisation of this year's Hajj season. The Cabinet welcomed Bahrain's being awarded the Best Office for Pilgrims Affairs among the 3 countries that received the highest satisfaction ratings from the pilgrims for the Hajj season 1444 as part of the Bulletin award presented by the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. The Cabinet commended the efforts made by the Ministry of Interior in maintaining public security and safety, along with other ministries and government agencies that have provided various government services during Eid al-Adha holidays. The Cabinet directed that the inspection campaigns targeting irregular workers across the Kingdom's governorates be continued, and that oversight over workers who violate labour market regulations be increased. During the meeting, the Cabinet discussed several memorandums and approved the following. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding a draft decree, amending certain provisions of the decree establishing the General Sports Authority. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding a draft decree to amend Article 1 of the decree appointing the relevant ministry and naming the relevant minister tasked with implementing the decree law governing public fundraising. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding the MOU between the Ministry of Education and Samsung Gulf Electronics. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding an MOU between the Central Bank of Bahrain and the Central Bank of Kuwait. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding a framework between the Bahrain Institute for Banking and Financial, BIBF, and Abdullah bin Khalid College of Islamic Studies and the Central Bank of Bahrain's Waqf Fund. A memorandum by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs outlining the government's response to 3 proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives. The Cabinet further reviewed a memorandum submitted by the Minister of Shura and Parliament Affairs regarding the work of the first ordinary session of the 6th legislative term. To conclude, the Cabinet noted the following ministerial reports. The outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the 53rd regular session of the Arab Information Ministers' Council, the participations of government officials abroad and the visits of foreign delegations to Bahrain during this month. The latest statistics of the Information E-Government Authority revealed a decrease in the number of job seekers in the Kingdom of Bahrain during 2022 by 7.5% compared to 2021. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain achieved positive results in reducing the number of job seekers, as the Bahraini government has sought to adopt a special policy in recruitment by organizing specialized employment fairs, which aim to provide quality job opportunities and quality value-added jobs. Employment fairs provided an appropriate opportunity for owners of similar establishments to compete with each other, to display the required vacancies under one roof, and to benefit from the organizational services and support programs provided. These fairs also provided an opportunity for direct matching between the vacancies offered and job seekers according to their specialties, and provided an opportunity for the job seeker and the employer to choose what suits them. The joint cooperation between the Ministry of Labor and Tamkeen contributed to the establishment of a new phase of work integration and joint efforts between the two sides. This led to the support and encouragement of providing quality and value-added training and employment opportunities for Bahrainis in the private sector, with the aim of stimulating employment processes and raising the competitiveness of the Bahraini employee.
Small and medium-sized enterprises in the Kingdom of Bahrain grew by 14% due to the programmes and initiatives that were launched in order to provide a suitable environment for these businesses. More in this report.
In June 2017, and under the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Council was formed with the aim of developing the entrepreneurship sector and the development of SMEs in order to achieve the desired goals. Many initiatives and programs were launched through 5 strategic axes, namely obtaining financing, accessing markets, promoting innovation, developing skills, and streamlining the business environment by targeting 3 main indicators: increasing the contributions of SMEs to the GDP, increasing their contribution to exports, and increasing the number of Bahrainis working in SMEs. The SME sector in the Kingdom of Bahrain achieved a growth of 14%, and the sector has contributed significantly to the growth of the non-oil economy and raising the national product through joint cooperation between the public and private sectors in order to achieve the objectives of the strategic plan of the Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Council.
The Platinum Residence Permit in the Kingdom of Bahrain, issued following an edict from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, grants many privileges to those who meet the conditions for obtaining it. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain is one of the most prominent destinations in the Middle East that attracts investors, professionals, and entrepreneurs from all over the world and provides them with ample opportunities to live in a comfortable and developed environment with the highest level of health services, education, social care, and many others. And because the Kingdom of Bahrain possesses all these elements, the Platinum Visa and Residence Permit came to increase those who obtain it with advantages that contribute to strengthening and developing the investment structure and environment, developing trade movement, and providing qualitative facilities for the business sector, institutions, and companies, which directly leads to the development of the national economy. The government of the Kingdom of Bahrain, headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, always reflects the qualitative strategic thought through the facilities it provides to investors to attract their qualitative investments to the kingdom, which in turn leads to the growth of the national economy, in which it benefits the country and the citizens.
The Kingdom of Bahrain is keen to adopt more innovative initiatives, plans and solutions aimed at enhancing environmental security. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister recently directed to double the announced goal of planting mangroves for the year 2023 to 460,000 trees instead of 230,000 as part of efforts to reduce the effects of climate change and contribute to achieving the goals of the Kingdom of Bahrain to reach zero neutrality. The Kingdom of Bahrain has adopted a series of initiatives to remove carbon, including the doubling of mangrove trees, as these mangrove trees have a great ability to absorb carbon dioxide, equivalent to 5 times the absorption of other trees. Year after year, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia succeeds in organising a safe Hajj season with all professionalism and facilitation through national efforts that have devoted most of their efforts to the service of the 2 holy mosques and worshippers from all over the world.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd, Allah.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has expressed its strong condemnation and denunciation of the attempt to desecrate the Holy Quran under the false pretext of freedom of opinion and expression. The Kingdom affirmed that these hateful acts cannot be accepted under any justification, and they clearly incite hatred, exclusion and racism. This came in a speech for the permanent Saudi representative to the Organisation of Islamic Cooperation during the emergency meeting of the organisation to discuss the repercussions of the incident of burning a copy of the Holy Quran in Sweden on the first day of Eid al-Adha. The Kingdom affirmed the responsibility of those countries to prevent the recurrence of calls for incitement and hate crimes and to stand firmly against these provocative practices, stressing at the same time the upholding of the common denominators of the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence among peoples. Meanwhile, His Holiness Pope Francis confirmed that allowing the burning of the Holy Quran is unacceptable and condemned, expressing his deep rejection at these actions. His Holiness stressed the freedom of expression should not be used as an excuse to offend others. Commenting on the recent burning of the Holy Quran in Sweden, the Pope said that the future of interfaith cooperation is based on the principle of reciprocity and respect for the other, adding that the world needs peace builders, not weapon makers, and advocates of reconciliation, not those threatened with destruction.